Guys, the much anticipated 2026 DV lottery, US Diversity Visa Lottery, has opened. It actually opened up on Wednesday, the 2nd of October this year. And guys, as you know, on this platform, we do talk about life in the diaspora, life abroad, and obviously these are the opportunities that we live for. We live for this. These tickle our fancy. When we see opportunities, we think of our people and we go like, how best can we then tap into these opportunities? And today we are talking about the US DV lottery for 2026, which is open. It's underway, and the whole process, really, it's open. Applications are open for a full month, guys. So no wonder why I thought, well, let's talk about it. Let's give people insight into it so that those that can actually apply, because it's a very, very good opportunity for you to straight away get yourself, your family into the United States. So guys, without wasting much time, my name is Clarence, and on this platform we talk about life in the diaspora. Let's get into the video of the day, where we are talking about the US 2026 DV lottery. So the Diversity Visa Lottery, also known as the Green Card Lottery, is a U.S. government program that provides up to 55,000 immigrant visas annually to individuals from countries with historically low migration rates. So 55,000 visas to be issued, and this happens every year. And so if you're watching this video and you haven't tried, and you're from those countries that we talk about in this video, in this country, and nearly almost every African country really is eligible. So if you're from an African country and other countries as well, as we are a growing family here on this channel, please watch this video to the end, because we're going to talk about the application process, eligibility criteria, and the benefits altogether. So stay tuned here as we go into it. So what is it that you need to have? What's the eligibility criteria like? You need to be from that country of birth, which is a qualifying country where there is the low historical immigration rate. So it means you do not have to be somebody who is from. An example of countries which are not eligible are China, India, Mexico, and other countries, because each and every year they review the list and they add on. But if you're from Africa, if you're from Zimbabwe, then this is for you. You also need to have an education work experience where you must either, the bare minimum that they require is a high school education, which is your ordinary level, or your GSCE equivalent, depending on what country you are from. Definitely, that's the bare minimum that you need. Also, if you could be having 2 years of work experience within the past 5 years in a qualifying occupation. I mean, there are people who could say, well, I don't have that GSCE, but then maybe through other skills, through other training, through other vocational training, then you have got 2 years minimum experience in an eligible occupation, in a proper job, in a proper employment, then you could be eligible. So I just thought I will explain this so that we clarify, we demystify all the rumors that are going to say, if you don't have maths and English or what. No. You just have to have your GSCEs. There is no drill down to say you need these subjects. So just basic GSCE or eligible 2-year experience in a qualifying occupation, then this is for you. Also, the application period, this year, it opened on the 2nd of October, and it will go on to for a month until I think the 3rd of November. So you could be applying. These applications are done online, guys. So there's no office where you go and say, okay, here we are taking DV, what, because I know already out there, scammers are waiting. So vouchers are lacking just to get money off you. So you do apply online on their website, which is the dvprogram.state.gov. And application is entirely for free. You don't have to pay anybody. Guys, one of the things that we do talk about on this platform is you don't have to pay for opportunities. You don't have to pay for a job. You don't have to pay for an interview. And you don't have to pay to apply for the DV lottery. So guys, you don't have to pay. It's free. All you need is your internet. You go on that website and you apply. How then do you submit your entry? You complete a form which is called the DS5501. This form, you fill in your personal details, whereby you put in your legal name, your date of birth, your country of citizenship or your country of eligibility. You put in your educational background, you put in your work experience, and your family details, which is your spouse and children who are under 21. Guys, do pay attention to these things, because you miss some of these things, they could act as disqualification criteria. So do pay attention to these things when you do fill in your DS5501 form. There is also a requirement for passport size photos for this application. They have to be of a certain quality, of certain dimensions. Guys, a lot of people have been disqualified based on the photographs that they sent. So these photographs, they have to meet the US Department State of Guidelines, which is size and background, amongst other things. So I would encourage, maybe find out where you can actually get a photographer who has been doing this. If you go online, you can check, depending on where you live, depending on which country you are from. Yes, other people can do it at home with their phones and it's fine, but if it's an opportunity that you want to go for, maybe it's worth you going to those photographers who knows actually about the quality, the requirements and everything for your photograph to be eligible for this entry in particular. So what happens there's also what they call the unique entry. Each individual may you can only do one application. Once you've put in that application, that's it. No wonder why I've been saying do a good job with it. Fill in correctly all the details, put in a picture which is of the right quality and standard to meet the criteria. But suppose you're married like myself, then my husband is allowed to submit a separate application and he lists me as his spouse, and I can also apply and list him as a spouse. So we are allowed, and each application that we will put in will be selected individually. So I mean, when I look at it, I love numbers, I love maths. I look at it from a probability angle to say, okay, if you are married, then the two of you are applying, that increases your chances of really getting picked, definitely. So I'll go on to talk about what happens now. You've done all the rest that's on top there. You then submit your form, you submit your application. You will receive a confirmation number, which is, it's very, very important for you to save this number. Write it down somewhere, put it somewhere, take a screenshot of it and put it somewhere where it's secure and where you know you can always check when the draw time comes, which will be like next year. As it's the only way in which you can check if you have been selected. So if you lose that number, there's no way of you checking whether or not you've been selected. So I will say this time and again to say, keep it safe. Save it, put it somewhere, write it, put it somewhere amongst your important documents. Maybe, I don't know, write it down, give it to your spouse or give it to your sister who can keep it for you in case your house where you live in, gets flooded or it burns, and then next year comes and then you want to find a way of really checking this. Guys, I want to also talk about the selection process and how this works. There will be a random draw. So the winners are selected randomly through a computer-based lottery. So it's random. No wonder why I will only say, like, just keep trying every year. You lose nothing. These things are for free. So keep trying. So your chances of being selected vary based on the region you are applying from and the number of entrants. So depending on the country you come from, depending on the continent you come from, then definitely that can increase your chances of being selected, because I think each and every continent or country has got a quota to say, we would like to have so many people from this country, so many people from this region. So that also plays a part in the selection criteria. So what happens now? The draw has happened, an announcement will happen. Results are typically announced in May the following year, which is May 2025. They will be announcing the results for the applications that we are making now. So you can also check your status by entering your confirmation number on the DV Lottery website again. So that number that we have said, keep it as a unique number that you will check. Then once they say the draw has been done, you go on, you enter that number, and then you can check if you've been selected. Guys, if you're thinking of life abroad, jump onto this one. Go for this one, guys. Go for this one. People have been going. People have actually, and the good thing about it, well, we'll talk about it later, but it's direct entry. You get your green card straight away. It's not like you wait for years and years for your green card. Straight away you get it. And these are some of the things where this visa allows you to move with your children, because I know a lot of you are worried to say, I can't leave my children behind, I cannot leave my spouse behind. With this one, you move as a family. So it's something that I would say, please jump on it, get on it, do this one. So what happens? You've won, you enter that number and you've won. What happens if you've been selected? So a case number is assigned to you. If you're selected, you'll receive a case number and instructions for the next step. So now you are assigned to some, you are now being guided into the next steps. So being selected does not guarantee a visa. Bear in mind this. So there is a process now, just a normal visa process for everybody, where there is checks, there is things that they will look into for them to admit you into their country. So now on this one, you now go on to fill in the DS260 form. Winners must complete the DS260 immigrant form online and submit required documents. This includes proof of education, birth certificate, passport, and police certificates. Guys, again, the application process is a different process. And then now the visa application or the green card application process is a whole different ball game, where there is requirements, where there is their own eligibility as well. So you fill in the DS260 form and you submit it. After submitting this one, you will be called for an interview. So what happens? You will then be scheduled for an interview at the US Embassy or consulate. During this interview, a consular officer would determine if you met the eligibility criteria. If you are somebody who is passionate about moving abroad, life abroad, and you have tried the US, their visa application process is a bit different from other countries. I mean, I came to the UK, there is no interview. You just apply, they look at your documents, and then they decide based on what you have submitted. But with the US visa process, you go to the consulate for an interview. You are interviewed, and then they'll issue you the visa based on the outcome of that interview. So if you meet the eligibility requirements and also the conduct background checks, for the US, conduct and behavior is very, very important. Your activities, this can vary from your online activities, your social activities, there's a lot of things to be considered. So they will check all that. They will check your police checks, your DBS, your police clearance comes into play. If you're moving to any country anyway, that's the norm, that's the score. So what happens also after this is also the medical examination. Before the interview, applicants must undergo a medical examination by an approved physician. Results are submitted directly to the US Embassy or consulate. So it's one of also the eligibility criteria to say you go for medicals, but then they have got their own doctors within each and every country, I think, where you go there and then you don't get to see the results, but they go directly, and these go before you can have your visa application interview at the consulate. So what happens? Obviously, you wait. There's a waiting period for this and everything. So what happens now with visa approval? After your visa has been approved, you receive a visa packet and your immigrant visa in your passport. Guys, this is exciting. You do not open this visa packet. You will need to hand it to the US immigration officials upon arrival in the United States. So it's one of the things that you have to pay attention to say, once that one is issued, then you're on your way to the United States, but you're not supposed to open that package. You're supposed to just submit it as soon as you get to the United States. Then you give them the visa packet. So pay attention to this. But guys, obviously, we're not saying everything is free all the way. There is an immigrant fees to be paid. You need to pay a fee to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services before you receive your green card. So obviously, once you've been selected and once you've started like going through all these processes and everything, you now know you need to have a certain amount of money on you or with you, and then for you to be able to pay for these things once you get there. So I think in this case, in this instant, your green card comes to you straight away, but then you would have to like pay for it to be processed, because I think the people that handle that is a different department from the DV lottery people and stuff. So what happens now? You've got your green card, you've got your visa packet and everything. It's not time for you to get on that plane and get to the United States. So you entering the United States, what happens? You must enter the US within the validity period of the visa, specifically 6 months. So once everything has been said and done, you've applied for a visa and everything, given 6 months for you to then fly to the United States. Sorry. So you have to, if anything happens and you cannot do so within, then obviously you forfeit your citizenship. So once you've entered the United States, the green card will be emailed to you to the address that you've provided. Guys, I think in those, once you start the whole process, you've applied for a visa, it's been approved and everything, you definitely need to source your own accommodation. This could be from friends, family, or you can actually source your own accommodation on your own, maybe B&B, or find a house or find a home. We're not saying, it's not like you find a house waiting for you because you've won the lottery. So this is where at least like funds come into play to say, okay, now you need to regroup your finances, your funds, for you to then know, I'm going to get to the United States. I'll stay with a friend. I'll go to the United States. We have got accommodation for a month. We've got temporary accommodation for a few months. Then definitely you need to source this one out. And again, your green card will be emailed to that address that you have applied. Now, what happens after this? Green card issuance. Becoming a permanent resident is the ultimate goal, definitely, when you do this pathway. So you are officially a permanent resident straight away, guys. No waiting period, guys. Some of us, we know we're temporary, we don't have anything. We may go back home anytime. We may be sent back home anytime. But with this visa, straight away, you become a permanent resident. There's no waiting period. That green card will be mailed to you after your arrival, and you'll be able to live and work in the United States. Straight away, you access all the benefits. Straight away, you can work. Straight away, everything is set. No wonder why I am encouraging everybody to say, jump onto this, apply for it. You lose nothing, guys. Let's get onto this, definitely. But also there are things to note, guys, if we're going to do this one. There's very, very important things that we need to bear in mind. There's no fees for application. There are no application fees when you're entering the DV lottery. You do it yourself. However, if you're selected, you need to pay for visa processing, the medical exam, and other related costs. So you see, it's the application process is the one that's free. But then when you are selected, for you to apply for a visa and fill in that form, you need to pay. For you to go for your medicals, you need to pay. For you then to be issued your green card, you pay for it. There is also something that you need to be worried about. We spoke about it at the beginning of the video to say there are scams, there are scammers out there, there are vouchers out there waiting just to steal money from people. So it's only the official DV Lottery website which is authorized for entry. There is no any other website. There is no offices to go to. You need to make sure you're on the right website, DV Lottery, us.gov. So you need to be very, very aware, guys. I always say there are scammers out there. I've been scammed before, and I think I'll share a video on that where I've been scammed. So this whole diaspora journey, this whole moving abroad journey, there are people just waiting to scam people. So be woke, be wise. Also, the last but not least thing is for you to notice that the DV lottery is an important opportunity for so many people, and because it's a random process and there's specific requirements, it's very, very key and important for you to follow the instructions and be prepared for the post-selection processes. Well, what do we say by get prepared? This is when you have got the extra funds now for you to apply for your visa, the extra funds now for when you have to leave for the United States. This is for flights, this is for accommodation and settling in. But it's a very, very good opportunity. It's a very, very important opportunity that my people, if you are from where I come from, if you have got the same similar circumstances as the ones that I had, please, please do try this one. For as long as you're 18 and above, this is for you. For as long as you are from an eligible country, this is for you. For as long as at the back of your mind you've always thought, but I could move abroad, this is for you. So guys, let's get on to it. Let's prepare. Let's do what we need to do and jump onto these opportunities, guys. And as you know, on this platform, we do explore opportunities for moving abroad or living abroad, and we'll continue to explore the different pathways, different countries, and the opportunities that we can actually maximize on. I wish you a successful application for this DV lottery, and I will see you in our next video. And if you do feel there are other things that you want us to discuss and share, please put it in the comments and we will definitely see what we can do for you. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.